Graph presents a short lecture pertaining to the basic fundamentals of aggregate demand in macroeconomics. Aggregate demand. This is the total amount of goods and services demanded in the economy at a given overall price and in a given time period. Let us look at the following equation. AD is equal to C plus I plus G plus open bracket X minus M close bracket. Let us look deeper into aggregate demand. The consumption theory. When income is zero and consumption exists, consumption level is known as autonomous consumption. The diagram below shows income being 0 and consumption being 50. C equals to C plus MPCY, C being consumption, MPC being marginal propensity to consume, which is change in consumption over the change in income, as can be seen in the following equation.
To find consumption, first we find the MPC, which is the difference in consumption over the difference in income, as can be seen here, with our result being 0.4. We then substitute the MPC into the consumption equation as well as the initial consumption. We will then use this equation to create a consumption table. In this consumption table, first we substitute Y values respectively into the MPC, with the final answer for the MPC being added to the consumption as can be seen in the equation. This final answer will then be plotted against Y to create a consumption graph.
Now let us look at the consumption function as a graph. Graphically, the consumption function displays the relationship between consumption and disposable income. Consumption, the dependent variable, is on the y-axis. Disposable income, the independent variable, is on the x-axis. The level of autonomous consumption determines the y-intercept. As you recall, this is the level of consumption when disposable income is 0. Marginal propensity to consume determines the slope of this curve. As disposable income increases from left to right, it is modified by the marginal propensity to consume. A high marginal propensity to consume would lead to a steep curve. A lower marginal propensity to consume would mean a more gradual slope. Let's look at the following graph.
The consumption line is a graphical depiction of the relation between consumption and income. A representative consumption line is presented in the exhibit presented. The blue line indicates that greater levels of income generate greater consumption expenditure.
The multiplier. This is the size that the national income will be multiplied by to get the figures of the new national income. Investment. Another important component in the aggregate demand equation. It contains capital goods and working capital. It also has important long-term effects on the supply side of the economy. Let's move on to government expenditure. Government expenditure. It is referred to as government spending on state-provided goods and services. It does not include transfer payments. Let's move on. Net exports. Exports, represented by X, sold overseas, are an inflow of demand into our circular flow of income. Imports, represented by M, are a withdrawal of demand from the circular flow of income and spending. Goods and services come into the country for us to consume, but there is a flow of money out of the economy to pay. Net exports, which is exports minus imports, reflect the net effect of international trade on the level of aggregate demand. When net exports are positive, there is a trade surplus, adding the aggregate demand. When it is negative, there is a trade deficit, reducing the aggregate demand.
To find the equilibrium level of national income, we use this formula, which clearly shows that Y is equals to consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus, open brackets, net export, close brackets. Consumption equals 850 plus 0.2y, investment equals 150 plus 0.15y, government expenditure equals 100 plus 0.25y, and net export singly x equals 75 plus 0.4y and m equals 175 plus 0.3y. As shown in the formula, we then substitute each of the respective elements in their spot in the formula. We then calculated the formula as shown throughout, where we found y being the equilibrium level of national income.